Rep Radio, an Emory production. Since 2009, our goal has been simple. We support, promote, engage, and inspire the arts community by igniting the ghost light that shines on the stages of the up-and-coming, the unsung heroes, the brilliant writers, and the dynamic designers. Our podcast breaks the fourth wall to give you an inside look at the plays and the players. Stay tuned. Rep Radio is on the air. Today on the podcast, I head over to Plays and Players Theater to meet with 1812 Productions for the 14th installment of This Is the Week That Is, the political satire that it just wouldn't be a holiday season without. So here's my interview with 1812 Productions.
Welcome to Rep Radio. I'm your host, Darnell Radford, and today I am in a familiar place. I'm at Plays and Players, and it would not be this time of year if I did not sit and chat with 1812 Productions to talk about This Is the Week That Is, the 14th installment. And I'm here with three of the collaborators, and we'll go around and do introductions.
Hi, my name is Tanaquil. I'm actor-writer.
Dan O'Neill, I'm directing this year.
And Dave Jadico, actor and writer.
All right, welcome to Rep Radio, and welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Great, thanks.
So, 14 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does that make you all feel? Is it exciting, daunting? Are expectations even higher than they've ever been?
I would say all of those things. This is. I know this is Dave's 14th year. This is my 5th year working on the show, and yeah, it feels like every year where there's more and more politics in the zeitgeist, and more people are paying attention to the news and to all the little fights that are going on all over the place. So there's definitely a lot of expectations of how people want us to make jokes about it coming in, because they've spent a lot of time themselves coping with it and making jokes about it probably. And also the fact that there have been 13 iterations of this before this one that we're in rehearsals for, checking right now. It feels like there's a lot of like we're carrying the weight of all of that, all the goodwill and all of the expectations and everything. Dave's laughing at me.
Yeah, no, I'm not laughing at you. You just make it sound so daunting.
Maybe that's just my mood on this.
Right, yeah.
3 days before an audience.
That's right. We have 3 days before an audience. We have like one more rehearsal, and then tomorrow's dress rehearsal, and then we do a show.
Yeah.
And it's funny, as you were talking about all that, it does. I thought of the analogy, not like I've just invented this analogy, but like everything that's going on in politics and in our culture and is like poison, and the poison gets just more and more and more every year, and this is like the antidote. Like the idea of having to come in and you need this kind of elixir of just, it's just a great way to process and forget about all of it while still being completely reminded of all of it. Yeah, this is like the antidote to everything that's going on.
Yeah. That's a great way of thinking about it.
I think, echoing what everyone else said, it's interesting that with our phones even, you wake up and I have like CNN, BBC like pop up with news, and how we're going to represent that on stage. And even with the show already being up, I'm curious to see what else is going to be happening in the zeitgeist and the political world of what we're going to change due to what's happening in real life.
Yeah. So you started rehearsal on Election Day, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So 3 weeks ago.
And what was the thought on that day? Because it's not a presidential election, but it's not that all elections are important. But what were your thoughts at that time?
I mean, there was definitely conversations around like planning leading up to the first rehearsal, and at that first kind of like big writers meeting that we had, was that there were going to be results of that election that impacted the way that we think about sort of like politics nationally and locally and everything. And so thinking very like conditionally and like you said, it's not a presidential election year, so the ground isn't shifting hugely under us, but anytime there's an election, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of the habitual nature of creating the show as well, is that idea of it feels like political season, and then, so we're very much tuned into that.
Yes.
And especially because leading up to, even with the local elections, all the campaigning and all the advertising and everything was out there for weeks leading up to our first rehearsal day. And even the fact that people were walking in from just voting. I remember we just got these new voting machines in Philadelphia. And so my brain was immediately thinking of like, oh, should we talk about that in the show? Is that something that we can, because there was these new video screens and, that's kind of like potential for comedy. But actually now it's like 3 or 4 weeks away. Right. I think it's kind of faded. I mean, maybe next year when we're leading up to the election, maybe that'll be something we talk about, like last year's video screens, and then how did people interact with them? Maybe that'll be something in the show next year. But now 2 or 3 weeks after the event, the new voting machines doesn't feel fresh or like a story anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was thinking about those voting machines, and it was funny. It was like this merging of old tech and new tech, where it's sort
with
of
the paper.
it looks new, but then it's archaic. And I was like, so the paper part of it is the equivalent of having a crank on a computer.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah,
You're just looking at it, going like, "Are these really new?"
I had just read an article about when you go into Wawa and they have their touch screens, which are awesome. You can just go boop, 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 boop. You got a sandwich coming, and you don't have to talk to anybody, which is wonderful. Not that I don't like talking to you right now, but I also read a report about how many germs are on those screens because everybody's hand touches them.
Yes.
And so when I was voting,
And then we eat a hoagie.
and then we get a hoagie. Yeah. But when I was voting, I used my pinky because I was thinking all the people that just touched this and they're not cleaning them, and they didn't have any wipes or anything, and I was like touching it with my pinky.
That's
So
when
I was
you.
selecting my leaders with my pinky. Yeah.
That's when you use the gloves that you can use for when it's cold. You
Yeah,
can
exactly,
still touch
yeah.
your phone, and
Oh,
you're
right,
like, I got it.
yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah.
So looking back on 14 years, being guests in the audience and then being collaborators in the piece, are there favorite moments that you can look back on from all of this? For all of you, I'll put this to all of you.
I saw the first time I saw This Is Week That Is was the election year, and I remember a skit where it was like mirroring the Pixar movie. What was it called? Inside Out.
Oh, right.
And it was in Trump's brain and in Hillary's brain. And you saw like all the ensemble be these like little emotions on stage. And I just remember the video screen of like Hillary talking about hot sauce. And all the emotions like, no, she said the wrong thing.
Yeah,
and then the Trump one was like all these.
It was him in a black shirt.
Exactly. Yes. Something, and everyone like had like the Trump hair and these red hats and acting like big meanies. I don't know what I can say.
It was a really fun sketch that took us a long time to put together.
It was good.
Yeah, it really did take a long time.
Right? It took a long time to get it into focus. From early on, I think Jen had seen that movie and said, I think we should do a parody of this, or somebody suggested doing a parody of it.
I think it was Jen.
And Jen. And it was just finding our way into it. And then also it interacted a lot with the video screens. A lot of our stuff this year actually interacts a lot where the live actors, it's not like we have these beautiful video screens that Jorg Cousineau does the programming on. And it's not like we're just showing films, we're not just showing videos. They're like interactive moments, and we have a lot of it this year where it just takes tons of effort because everything has to be choreographed, and all the stage management has to trigger it, and everybody has to stay perfectly in sync, and it's a lot of interaction with the video. And that one had a lot of video interaction from what I remember.
It really did, yeah. It really did. And trying to time the writing of jokes of all the people pushing buttons and pulling levers in each candidate's head, trying to write funny jokes in there that would reliably time out, like with or without laughs, would reliably time out to the video that we were, that video of Hillary being interviewed and talking about hot sauce.
And that's always the challenge too, is because you don't know what the audience response is going to be.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't know where the big holds are going to be, or if there's going to be the vacuum of nothing, no response, and just drive through. So, yeah, those always become a challenging aspect, very much so.
I think my favorite one as an audience member, Dave, you can help me fill in details on this.
Sure, because my memory's awesome.
I think it was 5 or 6 years ago when the movie Frozen came out.
Yes,
and,
I remember that.
And the first act ended with Alex Bechtel as Vladimir Putin singing "Let It Go."
And we were all dressed in Russian nesting doll outfits.
Yeah.
Which also amazing costume.
Yes,
Yeah,
amazing costume
piece.
by probably Lauren Paragard. At that point,
I don't want to quote the wrong person. I don't remember.
a really great designer,
Who
whoever
had,
it
yeah,
was.
it was definitely one designer. It could have been Lauren, and it could have been Jill.
And there was
I
a
remember.
snow machine, and there was
a snow machine and all. Yeah, it was a really wonderful moment.
super fun, like merging of pop culture and politics and like really dumb entertainment.
Yeah, it's funny. I just walked by Jill Keys, our costume designer, is downstairs in the basement sewing a costume. I won't say what the costume is right now, but as I walked by, I laughed because it's one we've been talking about for 2 weeks, and she's building it right now. And as I walked by, she was wrestling with it because it's very large. And I looked at her, and she just shook her head and said, "So dumb." And I said, it's the same exact word Dan just used. And I said, "Are you kidding?" I said, "Dumb is awesome. Dumb is a high bar for us. We shoot for dumb." Yeah, so... Yeah, we have some dumb stuff this year in a good way. Yeah. My favorite moment, again, there's many, but one was, and it was also such a seminal moment, was when the Access Hollywood tape came out. And this was, so Trump had thrown his hat in the ring, and his campaign night. It was either that night in the news or the day after. Sometimes we don't do stuff.
I think it was that night.
Yeah, sometimes we don't. If something happens at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we might not put it in the news because people haven't processed it. But you're right. I think it was. I think that came out earlier in the morning, and it was that night. And I can use language on this broadcast, right? So Don Montre, our news writer, wrote this brilliant joke, and Sean Close delivered it. And it was simply, it was just, the room was electric. You could feel, because something had happened that day that was so significant in like the political response, and what was the political response going to be. And Sean's opening line in the newscast was, "Our top story tonight, holy shit," is what and the entire place exploded, because it was like, this is, holy cow, this guy's out of the race. There's no way.
Right.
This just blew up everything and every chance he has of becoming president.
Yeah.
And that was the feeling at the moment.
Right. And that's the beautiful thing about this show, is that it can respond to something that happened that morning.
In the moment, yeah.
It is a lot of work, and it's one of the things that makes it hard and stressful to work on it. But it also is one of the most joyful things, is that we can respond to anything that is happening.
Yeah.
I like to come back, because my job is mostly done after opening night, but I like to come back throughout the run and watch.
Give little notes. Dave, you're not doing this anymore. little quiet conversations in the dressing room.
No. But to come back and watch the news that has been written and that I'm reading in these emails and that I'm talking about and hearing about, but to come back and experience it with audiences, I try and come back like once a week. And our audiences should do that as well. Come back once a week.
It's recommended you see the show 4 times.
Yeah.
Definitely. 4 times is the daily recommended dosage, or is the run recommended dosage.
Yeah. Right.
As I said, the antidote, it really doesn't work unless you administer it at least 4 times.
Yes.
Yes. Preferably on higher priced Saturday nights.
Yeah. So with that said, have you observed a sweet spot in the run that is like ideal to come in? Of course, we want people to come to the first preview
Early
and
and
all the
often.
way to the last show. But
Early and often.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve is super
yeah,
fun.
New
Yeah, that
Year's
is a really
Eve.
fun night.
Yeah.
It used to be sometimes we would close on New Year's Eve, and now we actually run past.
Yeah.
But New Year's Eve is a really exciting night to come. just because of the celebratory nature of it.
And it's
Yeah.
earlier. It's at 7.
Yeah, I think
You
it's
get
an
out
early
of here
show.
by 9.
Yeah.
Do your plans afterwards.
Yeah, a lot of folks like to come early on, especially during previews while we're still writing and making changes.
Like big dramatic
Like-
changes.
like big
'cause
changes,
The show
like-
changes a lot, but
Yeah.
it was kind of like, oh, we're cutting that. In fact, yeah, if you come early in the run, you definitely have a chance of seeing things that nobody will see.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there have definitely been years in the first couple of performances where we're like, okay, that sketch isn't working, it's out.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
more likely, we have too much content, which often happens, and then things get cut for time.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know what, we don't want it to go this long. And I remember, I think it was just a dress rehearsal last year, 2 years ago, the Gilligan's Island sketch.
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, we did it was an 11th hour sketch. It was a Gilligan's Island kind of parody.
Super fun.
And it was super fun. I think we probably could have tweaked the writing a little bit. The costumes were perfect. Like it looked like you were watching Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
It was kind of written like an episode. And we did it for the dress rehearsals. We have beautiful photos of it. And then we cut it. Because we thought, no, the energy's not right going into the end of the show.
Yeah.
We need it. It was too long. We didn't need it. And so we had this really funny Gilligan's Island sketch that our photographer, Mark Garvin, saw it. That's it.
Captured.
Yeah.
He saw it. Nobody else
Yeah.
saw it. Yeah.
My dad still talks about they came one year and Justin Jain, who's a cast member again this year, was doing a TV crafting segment as Kim Jong Un called "My Home, My Garden."
And he was visited by his,
And then visited by
Deceased father.
the ghost of Kim Jong Il.
played by Jennifer
Played by
Childs,
Jen Childs.
in a really terrific costume. And she had wings on and everything. Holy crap.
And it was very funny. And again, two audiences saw it. So if audiences want to come and see, as we're working on it, and there's talkbacks every night with the cast and the writing team and everything.
Yeah.
I think that's a super fun time to come as well.
Yeah.
But truly, like throughout the run, the show is always going to be responding to what is happening that week. So it's a fun show to come to anytime.
I've been following Saturday Night Live on YouTube, and they've been, like right after it airs, they will put every segment out. But they will also put out what was cut for time.
Oh, yeah.
And,
That's
yeah,
cool.
so at least I guess it's fairly new because I didn't always see these, but like especially the last one, they put out a lot of cuts. So there were things that just never aired. Was there anything that has never aired at all?
Well, one was
That-
definitely the Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's Island.
I like how you're using the term aired.
Or yes,
Yeah, we air everything out.
Never went
A lot of
live.
this needs to be aired out, trust me. Especially in
We're
this
talking
meeting.
about. I think it was 5 years ago or 4 years ago during the primary when Trump was talking a lot about the wall. There was
yeah.
a news segment, a panel moderated by Alex Bechtel of walls and wall experts.
Yes,
the
and
Great
the
Wall
wall
of
experts.
China and
Right, that was a character. The Great Wall
Great Wall of
of
China
China
was one of the
character.
characters. I'm trying to remember the other.
I played Humpty
were
Dumpty.
Humpty
And somebody
Dumpty.
played the Berlin Wall.
Oh, the Berlin
Right.
Wall. Yeah.
So those were the three characters and three costume
Experts.
if you can imagine.
Right. And that was super fun to write, and then it became clear that Act 2 was running long, and that I think that never saw an audience.
No, I remember we started blocking it, and the costumes were half made.
Yeah.
And I think
And
somebody,
we told Jill, the costume designer, we were like, hey, don't throw anything away, but don't put those at the bottom of your list.
yeah, stop working on them. They may not be
don't
needed.
worry too much about that. And then the next day it was gone.
Yeah, so that stuff didn't air. What else didn't air? Oh, we did a sketch years ago when we did the show back at the Adrian. So it was the second year of the show, so 12 years ago. We did a number that was sung, a parody song, sung to Corner of the Sky. Is that the term?
Yeah.
Is that the title, right? Corner of the Sky from Pippin.
Pippin.
Right. And it was Mary Carpenter, Stephen Wright, and myself. And Mary Carpenter played a dancing stem cell. I played the right to bear arms, which was represented as a octopus with M16s in all of my arms. And Stephen Wright played the baby Jesus. And the three of us had a song and dance number about, like, shifting rights and the Constitution and things like that. And I don't think...
corner of the sky.
To corner of the sky. Yeah, I'm giggling about it. But I don't believe Jen just walked in. Jen, did that see an audience or no? No. It never saw an audience. It saw a dress rehearsal. There are photos of it. Our photographer saw it.
Yeah.
And you can look at the archives, and there's some really fun photos, but it never saw an audience.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of audience participation, and think about the moments where they are called out. I'm always on the side going like, what if they're not a team player? Like maybe they won't want to be there.
Those are sometimes fun people to have
Yeah.
involved. You know.
Were there any of those moments that were just completely like maybe we don't do
Last
that
year
way?
we did audience participation.
Didn't someone pick your boyfriend?
It was Jen. The first time we ever did it, she picked my boyfriend. And I was really nervous about it, so I stood
And you
really...
had to pretend not to know him?
Yeah, and I stood really far away. It was awkward.
That's the worst.
Yes.
That's why you always pick people you don't know.
Yeah.
Because you
yeah.
don't want to have a relationship. Because the audience doesn't understand. They want to see a stranger interaction.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
but we
They will
really
identify.
root for the audience to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because we do that and everyone else in the audience is like, oh my God, thank God it's not me. They also root for the audience member to win.
Yeah.
I can't think of any time where someone was like not willing to participate. They do the whole groaning, getting off their chair like, all right, it's me. But on stage... I think people mostly black out and don't remember what's happening. So I think they're just willing to do whatever.
and we're careful about like what we ask people to do and making sure that it's nothing that anyone would. We're not putting anyone on the spot. We're not asking anyone about their politics. We're not asking anyone.
And we don't pull anybody up who truthfully doesn't want to come.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there are times when you say to somebody,
you can tell.
hey, you want to join us? And they're like, no. And you're like, well, come on. And they're like, no. And you're like, okay, fine. And they're like, I'm going
You're
to
like
kill
you're
you if
sitting
you
in
touch
the
me.
theater
Right.
of Philadelphia's all-comedy theater company.
Well, here to have a good time. But
I know, of
and we
course.
never aim to make anybody embarrassed. We always put them in a position where they look, where they can succceed.
What are these
and
release
have fun.
forms? Why
Yeah,
are we signing
release
these?
forms. Exactly. Yeah. Put on this helmet.
The reporter in the lobby is always really fun.
Yes, thank you.
And that's another moment where you grab someone
That's true.
from there.
And that one, I have to admit, I think people feel like when I've done that in every show. I've done 400 interviews at this point, maybe more. That I think people find a little bit easier because there's no stage lights, there's no
Yeah.
audience.
And they're out
It's just
there,
two people
yeah.
having a conversation in front of a camera,
Right.
at which people are very comfortable in front of cameras nowadays, as you record this with your camera, which is your phone, which is your beeper. I don't know what
Handy
that thing is.
dandy
Okay.
everything.
But that one, that's usually just a conversation.
Yeah.
Two people having a conversation. And sometimes, though, you do see like the look of recognition wash over their face when they hear 300 people laugh on the other side of the wall.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's when they kind of realize, like, oh, my face is up on that screen right now. That kind of idea. But in general, that's usually just a conversation I'm having with somebody.
Yeah.
That's usually very fun.
So as we are having this conversation, we are about to figure out what our plans are for that big dinner we have every year.
Thanksgiving is coming up. I was like, taco night? What are you talking about? Is it Tuesday?
Oh, it is Tuesday. Oh, so besides Taco Tuesday,
Right.
there's Turkey Thursday.
It should be called turkey. You're right.
Turkey, yeah. What do you think the conversations will be at these Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving tables this year?
At our tables or at America's Thanksgiving table?
America's in
Yeah.
anyone's.
I'm curious to hear both answers from you right now.
No, I mean I love Thanksgiving. I have a huge family, and I get to see there'll be like between 30 and 50 people at Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh my God, 50?
It's
Seriously?
yeah. My dad is one of 10.
Yeah, I have a really big family too, not quite that big, but
Yeah.
How do you guys rent a place?
No, we go to my Aunt Kate and Uncle Joe host
do
every year.
50 people.
It's so great. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm excited to have a little over 24 hours off from this.
Jeez.
And do that, and I'm excited to hopefully not think too much about politics.
Is that like 5 turkeys? Like a basketball team worth of turkeys?
I think it's like 3 or 4 turkeys
Wow.
usually. Yeah.
Who's cooking all this?
Everybody. This isn't about my thing.
Potluck.
I'm making stuffing. Yeah, I don't know. What do you be talking about at your Thanksgiving?
My family doesn't tend to talk about politics.
Yeah.
Not really.
Good.
So that just doesn't usually.
There's
not
always a
usually
game
big part
on too. You can.
That's true.
focus on
That's
that.
true.
And like I
Your
know
family, do they
what
talk about
uncles to avoid if I don't want to have a conversation.
Why is it always an uncle? I
about-
don't understand that. It's always an uncle. It's never an aunt.
Right.
Okay.
I guess my family isn't over for Thanksgiving, but it's a little different because they live in London. And yeah, they're divorced and they both live in London for some reason. And my mother remarried someone who's British, and so the talk is definitely about Brexit. We definitely talk about that.
Dinner?
Yeah, my mom is American, so she has Thanksgiving
does she?
dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, and my dad is Colombian, so we never really celebrated Thanksgiving. We
yeah.
would have tacos, actually. Yeah.
It's like somebody figure out something over there with
Yeah.
Brexit.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
This isn't a question. This is more of a comment. Every time I hear quid pro quo, I'm thinking like, has anyone added this to their actors warm up yet?
We should. That's
this should be an
good.
actor-
We should have, because I'll tell you, when we sing it in the show, I do have difficulty with it.
Yeah, we'll add that to the rotation.
It's also because of the choreography that's happening at that
Because I'm
exact
just
moment
like,
in time.
which one's harder, quid
Which
pro
song?
quo or red
Pro
leather,
quo.
yellow
When-
leather?
When we turn our heads back and forth.
That is some of the
When?
simplest choreography.
Oh, you're not
of the
in.
show,
You're
too.
not in that scene.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on the side reading the book.
Oh, yes.
Without
I
any
was like, when do I
spoilers,
sing
yeah.
this?
Yeah, that's right. You don't have to do it.
I guess I'm not listening.
Well,
All right, I have 2 more questions. What kind of snacks are in the writer's room?
Oh, I mean, so we always every year except for
we have Swedish fish minis and pretzels
pretzels.
currently on the tech
on
table.
the table right now.
Yeah, the tech
The,
table.
we when we're writing the show, it's usually around Halloween, and so
that's
it's
right.
Halloween candy almost every year. Every
like
year
a-
except election years.
An
we give
egregious amount too.
so much Halloween candy.
Because
Because
everybody buys for their houses, and then people come in and they're like, "I got 3 kids." They
Right.
come, that's it. Yeah.
Or you go to CVS and that's what's on sale, and you,
Right.
you buy
although
cheap candy.
this year, I don't know who brought them in. It was like we were we were in my granddad's, my grandpa's old Cadillac. It was
Was it the
Star
Werthers?
Mints. It was Star Mints and butterscotches.
Those were from
The roommates.
those were from the
Was that from the show?
Yeah.
God Project. Yeah,
No, the
Oh,
roommate.
the roommate.
Jen is confirming they were from the God Project.
Oh, they okay. Yeah.
Oh,
What I
really?
got to stuff the Easter eggs with.
Oh, I was like, why do we have all these?
So the reason we had all
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Special guest appearance by Jen on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, Jet shots. Everybody be cool. Okay. As we, okay, so we're approaching Thanksgiving as we are having this conversation now. So I wanted to ask you all what you are thankful for.
Oh.
I'm thankful for Jen Childs. I'm thankful, the opportunity to work on this show and her guidance is so great, and she's been such a champion in my career, and I'm super thankful for her and for 1812 and the chance to be here.
Tanaquil?
Yeah, I'm definitely thankful for such a talented, diverse cast that we have on stage. It's this is, like I said, my 2nd year, but it's always fun working with the same people and new people, and collaborating and developing this thing of stories, these scenes for us to present to people. Yeah.
I would echo both of those 100%. And, when we're doing tech, the hours are very long. And, so I'm like really thankful for, everybody puts in different things to this project. The people who do the tech and our stage management and the designers, they put in like an amazing amount of hours and time. and like creativity we put in the writing and the acting and the stuff that we do. But then there's also, and I'm not saying this because I also had another capacity with this company, but the people that come year after year to see the show, that make this a tradition, and the people that support our company, people come and buy tickets and see the show. And, the tickets cost like $40, a little bit more sometimes, a little bit less sometimes. And you go see theater, theater's expensive, and ours is a little bit on the cheaper side. But there's also like all these people that give significant support, like money, like financial support to the company. And that's like just, it always amazes me how people are moved to do that. And so I'm very thankful for that as well, because both the energy of the people who come as well as the people who support make it happen so that we can continue to do it and make people happy. So I'm very thankful for that as well.
Yeah. Can I get a hint on the final song?
It'll be musical.
We did give a hint, or Jen gave a hint in what's it called, with AD.
Oh, yeah.
So it is out in the zeitgeist.
You want to repeat the hint?
I will.
Really?
She did.
Are you going to give a hint?
I mean, it's already out there. I'm going to repeat what she said. It is a Queen song.
Oh, okay. Oh, actually, someone on social media said, please let it be something in that vein.
Okay. Oh, great.
And it's a great song.
Yeah.
right.
It's a super fun way to end the show.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, if you're listening to this now, you can definitely get your tickets to the 14th installment of This Is the Week That Is. You can go to 1812productions.org and get a couple of tickets, because theater is more fun with a +1.
I was going to say it's more fun with a +10.
And, come back a few times, because the first show is not like the 14th show, not like the 15th, 16th show. It's definitely worth your time and attention. Thank you all for chatting with me. This has been a little bit of a kind of a constant for me as well. I don't think all 10 seasons of Rep Radio have sat down with 1812 for This Is the Week That Is, but I think we got about 8.
Wow.
But yeah, this is always something to look forward to, and I can't wait to see this year's show. Cool. So thank you all for chatting with me.
Thank you.
Darnell.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Rep Radio continues to be inspired by our community and listeners like you. We are proud to be an Emory production. Visit us online at em3ry.com. Ride with us. Emory is on the move.